That's what they call a loaded house chip or something. They make their own chips there, and then they barbecue sauce and stuff like that.
Huh.
I got a 3-meat sampler. That's the 2 plates of quinoa.
Wow. Is it reasonable or super expensive?
No, it was a 2-meat. No, that's 3-meat. It's reasonable. I mean, the 3-meat sampler is maybe $15 or something at the time.
It's not bad.
Yeah. I think the house chips was like $8 or $9.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, literally, when I walked to the table, it was like this by this by this.
You could eat that as your entree almost.
Yeah, if we'd have known, that's probably what we would have done.
Right.
You know.
Oh my.
And then if you like desserts, he makes his own desserts.
Right after the pledge.
They sell them at a slice or whatever.
You were in the right place, I'm sure, right? You didn't have it. Did you have 2 pieces or 1 piece?
I did not have any because after I tried my best to eat my share of the appetizer and my meal, put 2 boxes on with it.
Really?
2 boxes back to the room.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like, are you kidding me? It is really good. And there's a ton of this dinner called or Bill that they serve just kind of like Southern style.
Yeah.
Cooking. It's a really good place to eat. I don't even know anymore. I mean,
Is there?
There's all the dinners and stuff.
It's a dry area though, right? There's no alcohol?
Yeah, you can. It doesn't matter.
I thought so. I'm pretty sure I saw
Could do it after the visitors
why.
if you want. Yeah, that might work.
Yeah.
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 Maybe they didn't.
Is that at the Dixie?
No, she
Yeah,
wasn't here last time, so maybe she's just making up for it.
Is there amusement park, Dolly Parton?
Yes.
Is that in that area too?
It's down in there.
Okay.
It's in Pigeon Forge.
Okay.
Yeah. But even in Gatlinburg, there's a ton of stuff goes. Sky rides.
I saw a video that my daughter had on the kids tube that they have this these little carts that you go down the mountain. You know what I'm talking about? It's kind of like it takes you up like a ski lift. Exactly what it is. Yeah. I saw a video of
Going
that.
back to
Coco was like,
Scholastic Books.
Daddy, I want to go to Gatlinburg. I want to do
Scholastic
this. I'm
Books. Yeah, I don't know what she's doing for them, but yeah.
like, it looked interesting.
Yeah, that's Gatlinburg. I guess it's quite the ride.
Is it?
Yep.
Huh.
Mr. Hartness,
Present.
Mr. Porter,
Present.
Mr. Bonner, Mrs. Corzine,
Present.
Mr. Dennis.
Present.
The meeting is being recorded by audio tape. And will you rise and give the Pledge of Allegiance with me, please? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have an addendum to the agenda under superintendent recommendations, item K and L. And I also want to insert the student liaison report after the welcome to visitors. Any other changes or additions?
No, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the amended agenda? And I will second. Any discussion? Roll, please.
Mr. Porter,
Yes.
Mr. Bonner, Mrs. Corzine,
Yes.
Mr. Dennis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartness.
Yes.
Okay, welcome to visitors and public participation. Welcome to visitors to this and all board meetings. The board desires citizens of the district to attend its meetings so that they become better acquainted with the operations and programs of the schools, and so that the board may have an opportunity to hear the wishes and ideas of the public. All meetings of the board are open to the public and the media. Is there anyone that would like to address the board at this time? All right, seeing no one, we'll move on. Next, Emma, if you'd like to give us your report.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This year has been one of the most challenging for all people, from the board members to the students. So to wrap up the end of the school year, I wanted to share with the board the students' perspective of the year. At CPS, Mrs. Strasser took me around to each grade level and classroom, pulling out students so that I could ask them their favorite thing about the school year. Starting with the kindergarteners, the kids answered with eating popsicles, learning to read, field day activities, watching movies, making new friends, and learning how to count. The first graders said that their favorite thing was to learn about math, recess, making new friends, and planting a tree in STEM. The second graders said their favorite thing was math and spelling, being able to go to school, and walking to Dairy Queen. At CIS, Mr. Tripp gave me two students per grade that I was able to have a different line of questioning because they're older. Beginning with the third graders, I asked them what their favorite part of the school year was. They answered by getting to see their teachers and that they could actually be in person. The second question was, how would you describe the school year? And they answered challenging and stressful. The third question was, do you think that the school district did their best to keep you and your peers safe during COVID? They both answered yes. The final question was, when we shifted from in-person to online to back to in-person, describe how you felt about that. They said it was hard because it was hard to work on the computers all the time and waking up early. The fourth graders said their favorite thing was field day and PBIS activities. For the second question, they said it was crazy and tough because of COVID. The third question, they both said yes and that they were kept safe. For the final question, they both liked in-person more than online. The fifth grader said that their favorite thing was field day and getting to see their friends and teachers. For the second question, they answered with it being different and challenging. They both answered yes to the third question. And for the final question, one felt that online was difficult and the other felt the same for both in-person and online. The sixth graders said that their favorite things were science, social studies, and ELA. For the second question, they both answered that it was good. For the third question, they both answered yes. For the fourth question, one said that they liked in-person more, and the other said they liked them both the same. At CMS, I was able to talk to the middle schoolers while they were in the park for their PBIS activities. One student said that their favorite thing this year was making new friends. For the second question, they said that this school year was stressful. For the third question, they answered yes. And for the final question, they said they liked in-person more and that online was harder. Another student said that their favorite thing this year was learning French. For the second question, they said that this year was pretty good. For the third question, they answered yes. The last question, they answered, well, being online was difficult because they couldn't focus. In addition to these other students, one said that their favorite thing this year was participating in Spirit Week dress up. They answered the second question saying that the school year was crazy but fun. The third question they answered yes. And for the fourth question, they said that being online was crazy. At CHS, I asked a student from every grade level the same questions. The seniors' favorite thing about this year was that they got a prom. They answered the second question by saying the school year was different from their previous ones. The third question, they responded saying yes. And for the fourth question, they said they were just happy to have the option of being in person. The juniors' favorite thing about this school year was participating in sports. For the second question, they said that the school year went by fast. For the third question, they said yes. For the final question, they responded saying in person was better for them because it was easier to focus. The sophomores' favorite thing about this year was making new friends. For the second question, they said yes. This school year was unusual. For the third question, they said yes. For the fourth question, they responded saying that they enjoy in-person more so that they could interact with their classmates and teachers. The freshmen's favorite thing this year was meeting new teachers. For the second question, they responded saying that this year was challenging. The third question, they also answered saying yes. And for the final question, they said that they enjoy in-person more, but were fine with online. A couple things to take away from this is that kids had fun this year and that they felt safe. So on behalf of the students in the Chillicothe School District, as their representative to the board, I would like to thank everyone who has made this school year possible and for all of the hard work that you do for us.
You're welcome. Appreciate it. I'm sure that was fun talking to all the students.
Yes, it was.
All right, we'll move on to recognitions and presentations. Debbie?
Okay, I do want to point out, which I didn't see this, and I apologize, that the student liaison report was under the recognitions and presentations. So we'll just scratch that. That's my fault.
sorry.
I didn't even notice it, so I apologize.
I didn't see it either.
So here's good.
You might have. I'll have to talk louder. First of all, I'd like to take an opportunity to acknowledge and thank Mr. Mullins for 15 years on our board, helping us, push past COVID and getting these new buildings built, and just all the advocacy you have done for our students. You've helped us be a better district. I can specifically say that during COVID, we all stayed in our little comfort zone, and you pushed us to open up and to open up early. And we just had a great year. And I appreciate the fact that you were willing to take a risk and get us out there quicker and sooner, and it certainly paid off. We were in school all year, and I thank you for that. If you don't mind coming up, I don't know if any of the board want to say anything. He spent a lot of time with all of you too.
Oh, the things I could say. I just want to say what a pleasure it's been working with Mr. Mullins. A third of my life, almost, or a fourth anyway. We've done a lot of things. A lot of miles together. A lot of great projects have been accomplished through a lot of team effort. So, Steve, I just want to let you know how much of a friend you are to me, how much you'll continue to be to me, and what our time together has meant. Thank you.
Well, I could say thank you, or but I'll say thank you. Got big shoes to fill, and I hope I can do it.
Certainly. Just say thank you so much, Steve, for the time and effort you put in, and you should be proud of your efforts here at Chillicothe City School District.
You guys don't know Steve very well, but this has, had a pretty big footprint in this district and just made a ton of good decisions on behalf of our students. So this is just a token of our appreciation. This is, I think, one of the graduations, a picture of you at graduation, and Jamie Woods was instrumental in putting that together, because that kind of stuff is not my thing. And you also get a mug, just a Cavalier mug, and that was a picture she wanted you to have. She thought you got it. So thank you so much for everything.
I just want to, I think it's easy to be a good board member, and these folks who have been a board member will attest when you have great staff. And for the 15 years I was here, we just had the most incredible staff, administrators, teachers, custodians, bus drivers, maintenance, everything. It's been one of my biggest honors in my entire life to be able to do that for 15 years. Jeff mentioned the fact, Jeff is one of my best friends in the world. I was honored to serve with some of my best friends. Liz and I have been so close over the years, and then Bill and I are good friends. Jeff Benson, Randy Drew, Matt Barkley, you remember those guys. It was such an honor to work with so many people that I was so close with. I was tickled to death to see Sean get on here. We tried to get him to run a couple years ago, and he wouldn't. I got to know Kelly just a little bit this summer during the COVID. How are we going to open our schools and everything? And he's just really impressive. Folks, you got an incredible board right here. And I know 4 of you are up for election this year. I hope all 4 of you decide to run, because you're doing a fantastic job, and you certainly have my endorsement. And Liz, you're doing a fantastic job. And thank you so much for just an incredible 15 years. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
I do have one question of Kathy. What are you going to do with him now? He's got a lot more time. Yeah, it'd be my suggestion.
All right, well, thanks again, Steve. Next, we've got some staff members that are retiring after many years in the district. And first up is Carol Sequoia. She's been a preschool teacher here for how many years? 28 years, making a difference in a lot of little kids' lives and getting them ready for kindergarten. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, next is Lisa Bennett. I think I saw her. And you, so you've done 34 years. And you've been language arts and everything. Lots of years. So thank you very much. We appreciate all your years here and care for our kiddos.
I know my grandmother started in 58 in the system, so yeah, we won't be in the system this is the end. So
Oh,
Thank you very much for everything you've done.
thank you.
Next is J.R. Cochran. I know I saw him back there hiding. J.R.'s been a phys ed teacher with us for many, many years. Have you always been at CMS?
Smith and CMS started out as an intervention specialist.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, when I first came here.
Yeah, when you first got here.
Yeah, I pushed you out of there, didn't I? Real quick?
Showed me a better road to travel. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Enjoy your retirement. I think you have a year away from your wife, right? She's gonna stay a year and you're gonna
We hope.
hang out. at
She
home.
hopes anyway.
Next up is Tammy Fraser. And she's been with the district a very long time as well. She was a Tiffin teacher for a very long time. And she's currently at Chillicothe Primary as a second grade teacher. 34 years. 34.
Yeah.
So you've got your beautiful daughter who's going to also
That's
take
right.
over, and she's done a great job as well. So thank you very much for all you've done for our students. We appreciate it. Steve Maybrier. Steve Maybrier. When I first came here, you were Tiffin. Were you a math teacher?
At Allen.
At Allen, math and science. And I remember making the phone call to you, asking if you moved into art. And I don't know if you remember that or not. And you're like, gosh, I would love to do it, but I don't know if I can. And so we had a little conversation about that, and you've done a great job. And we appreciate all the time you've given our students, and you're just always really happy and glad to be where you are. So we appreciate that impact you have on our
It's taken
students.
a whole group of
People keep you under control.
administrators to keep you under control.
I can tell.
Because they make me look good one for the other.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. We have some other retirees who are not here tonight. Jeannie Wingo, she's been a longtime custodian in our district. And I don't even know how many years she's been here. She's been here a long time, so we appreciate her. And Pam Winks has also been in the district for quite some time. I believe she's moving to Florida, and she cannot wait. And Romaine Polchik, I thought she was going to be here, but Romaine's been here for a while. When I first came here, she had come here from Jackson City Schools, so we also appreciate her. She's been a teacher at Chillicothe Intermediate School. So next up is Greg Phillips. He's going to do a presentation on keys to success.
Ms. Weinhardt, to the board, I emailed you a little earlier a digital copy. It should be in PDF form. If you or anyone wants a paper copy, I will be glad to share that. Thank you so much, Board of Education, Debbie, for asking me to speak on Keys to Success, kind of the state of the program. I'll be brief. I hate it when people give me something and then read it to me. So I will not do that to you. I just want to say that we just concluded our 6th year of Keys to Success. It's unique in the fact, and you'll have to forgive me when I get a little passionate, a little excited about it. It's so unique in the fact that the numbers, and I understand numbers, you want numbers, we can play numbers. The number's 1. You get one student that trusts you enough, and it was mentioned, I think, by Mr. Weaver. You get one student trusts you enough, trusts this program enough to be willing to have a positive drug test and know that it's not going to be punitive in nature, that you're actually going to rally around that student, that it's not the scarlet letter, it's not a thing of shame, but it's actually a community of resources, of individuals that will come together and say, hey, how can we help you? How can we help your family? What can we do to assist you with what's clearly an issue in your life and what's going on? And get to know them. It's all about community, and it's all about relationships. And Keys is so unique in that it has people on the outside doing incredible work, people behind the program. You look at, Gary Von Kennel long ago with the impetus during the opioid crisis to bring this back to his alma mater. And Steve was, you were so instrumental in kind of jumping in with him and bringing that to Chillicothe High School. And then Herrnstein Auto Group. There's just so many people. The board has always been so supportive. It is a tremendous program. This year was unique. I know you guys are probably ad nauseum tired of hearing, hey, this is a COVID year. It's weird. It's unique. When you look at the numbers, you look at freshmen, only 35 enrollees. Clearly, it was difficult to get them. We do have an online form for our digital academy. We had that this year. It was just difficult to disseminate that amongst all of the new things going on and just all of the back and forth. We do have what called like a jot dot where that can be signed on any phone or iPad or anything like that. So students can sign up. So the Digital Academy, that link can be sent out so students can sign up digitally, never have to come into the building to do that, and they get to be a part of that. The biggest thing about Keys to me, and I've mentioned it, it's not punitive. This is not athlete drug testing. This is not you got caught and now you're going to sit games or you're going to face some sort of punishment. The idea behind it is how can we help? How can we rally around? How can we create a community instead of shaming you? Let's find out what the root of this issue is and what we can do to resource that. Obviously, at the end of the year, we give prizes away. The car is a big thing. I actually listed the 6 car winners. I probably get that question sometimes more than any question. Hey, who are the 6 people that won a car? And it's like, so I actually did a little research and put those down if you were just interested. And I could talk about the power of one. I'm so passionate about that. You get one kid, it's worth it. If you get one kid that says, you know what, you've given me a reason to say no. I think we forget that students sometimes don't know how to say no. Probably not an adult in this room that at some point we didn't know how to say no to something. And when they can blame, oh man, son of a stupid drug testing program, that's fine. Call me out. Call Mr. Valentine, Mr. Weaver. Call any of us out, right? Stupid principals won't, they can lie and say it's punitive. We don't care. Sometimes you're just giving them a tool for their toolkit to say, no thanks. And there's empowerment in that. You can say no. And, not to harken back to Nancy Reagan, just say no obviously takes a lot more than that, but we're giving them the resources and tools. So I'll be quiet now because you get me cranked up and we'll be here all night. And I'll start getting really excited. Right now I'm pretty tamped down. But if you have any questions, I would love to answer those. I know Mr. Porter, Mr. Dennis, you guys a little newer to the district may have some questions. You may not. Feel free to email, text, call. I prefer to be left alone between 1 and 5 a.m. Other than that, have at it. I'll get right back with you. But if you guys have any questions, I'll be thrilled to answer them if I can.
Great.
Definitely it's a great program. It's unique for Chillicothe. But you look out at the community and you look at Southern Ohio, and this is one of those strong programs that it might have been a down year this year with getting the onboarding of the freshmen, but it's definitely a program that gives some of those kids the incentive, and we need that in our community. I mean, last year, overdose deaths were rising. We're continuing to see more drug and overdose issues in the community and substance use disorder. So, getting kids early on, K through 12, is very important. This one seems like it's more high school based, but anything that we can do to help, get kids to go in that right direction and not make those wrong choices, because just one wrong choice can send them in the wrong direction.
Dennis, thank you for that. And if you'll, on the 2021, 2022 kind of schedule to implement is, we're all naive if we think, oh, we've got this awesome, you might think about drugs in 9th grade, but we're only fooling ourselves by about 3 to 4 to 5 years if you look at studies and data. And so we are certainly committed to beginning that backward, if you will, lack of a better term, to begin to get that implemented into the middle school and even into the intermediate school where, I have a 6th grade daughter, a daughter that just finished up 6th grade. And, I know every parent in here, I get called boomer by my own kids. I try to tell them I'm not a baby boomer, but they still think I am. But, I don't remember those challenges. They probably were there. But just listening to some of the things my daughter, her friends talk about, or things that she hears, even in the, 6th grade. And, we're naive if we don't think that this program isn't beneficial, especially to close that gap where DARE ends. We should be stepping in to take over. I agree.
Well, Greg, thank you for your constant enthusiasm for this program, because you are nothing but that. And I look forward to next year when you do it in the gym, because I just think that's a really special day for our students. And I know this is a year-long thing. This isn't just something that happens at the end of the year. And I appreciate all the time that you put into it and your commitment. Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay, so next is Erin. Is Sarah able to? Oh, there you are. Sorry, I can't see anybody from if they're behind somebody. She's going to give us an update on the Chillicothe Digital Academy. As you know, earlier in the year, we talked about expanding this program to reach new students, keep students that are doing very well in that program. So we've been evaluating that program for the last, since we started in COVID, and trying to make things better, because we will always have a population of students that want to be online. So we want to make sure they're getting a great education as well. So Sarah's going to give us a plan for how we're going to kick off the new Digital Academy.
Absolutely. Thank you all, and good evening to everyone. I'm excited to see a few of my Digital Academy teachers in the audience, so they can kind of vouch for some of the things that I'm going to share tonight. One of the things that, COVID has, of course, it's probably the most overused word in our meeting tonight, but COVID has really opened up some opportunities as far as online experiences, different educational opportunities for our students. What we've seen this past year with the online options that have arisen, from offering that to our students and families as kind of a safety net, things that they can take advantage of, we have seen a lot of students and families who would like to continue that option for their students. And so as a district, of course, we want to ultimately always meet the needs of our students and families. So we are going to continue offering that online opportunity for our students into the 21-22 school year and beyond. Our target student kind of looks a little different. In the past, we've always had an online presence, and a lot of times our online student could be someone who may need credit recovery, or a student who may be at risk, or something like that. Those students will continue to be serviced by our online digital academy if they so choose, but we're also seeing a lot of enrollment with homeschool families, a lot of students who are doing College Credit Plus courses, a lot of students who, again, because of COVID, may be immune compromised or something like that, just not ready to be back into the general school setting. And because of that, we are investing additional resources and commitment into this digital academy moving forward. We have been working on marketing and really promoting our digital academy and increasing our enrollment. Right now, to date, we have 179 students enrolled K-12, broken down by building, 15 CPS, so that's K2, 50 CIS, 16 CMS, and then 98 CHS. Now, within those numbers are a lot of different pieces of information, but something that I do want to point out to you specifically is that we have 20 newly open enrolled students within that data. That's significant. We also have 13 newly enrolled students who are coming to us from academies that are already online, such as OVA, K-12, but reside in our district. So those are students that count on our report card, but we are not getting the funding for because they're enrolled elsewhere. So one of the big pushes that we've tried to make is really targeting those kids who are in our community. It's not our goal necessarily to take students out of the building and put them online, but instead we want to really offer the best online opportunity educationally for the students that are in our district and anybody outside of the district, of course, who needs that option for their student and family. We've had a lot of really great response from the community so far, especially with some of the changes that we have been able to implement moving from this year forward. My staff, the Digital Academy staff from this year, I can't say enough good about them. Insanely blessed with a great staff of teachers, aides, secretary. I just can't say enough good. They really rolled with the punches and came up with some great, really innovative strategies to meet the needs of our students and families. However, moving forward, you always want to improve upon what you've started. And so that's really our goal for the 21-22 school year. We are increasing our direct online instruction, especially at the high school level. A lot of our students and families, when we surveyed them, said that they want more of that. And of course, we understand the kids need help. A lot of parents and families don't, it's been a while since we've taken Algebra 2 or college math or something like that. So really making sure that our students have the opportunity for that direct online instruction is paramount. And so we will be, we have a plan moving forward with that. In addition to that, we also heard a lot of feedback regarding engagement from our staff and from our students. And so one of the big key terms for me moving into the new school year is connection. Why would a student want to come to Chillicothe Digital Academy versus doing an Ohio Virtual Academy or a K-12? What's the difference maker? And so for me, it's that connection that they have with the school community, whether it be athletics, or a club or extracurricular, an activity. So we really want to kind of capitalize on what we offer already, as well as some new opportunities for our students K-12. We're partnering with some already existing clubs in the school to offer some really unique things, especially for our younger students. We have a World Culture Club that's going to be beginning with our National Honor Society students, a Pen Pal Club, a virtual cooking class that our food services department is very excited to share. We also have an Art Buddies program that's going to exist and an Art in the Park. And so again, these are things that our Digital Academy students can take advantage of if they choose. There are virtual options as well as in person, allowing for that level of comfort that our students and families online may want and need. Any questions?
I would like to just mention how much time Sarah has put into this. She has surveyed parents to death about this and students. So she definitely has gotten the input from the people that it matters most. And she's just really been a true advocate for making this a much better program than we've had in the past. And I feel good about all the additional things she's going to be offering our students that do decide to stay online. So thank you, Sarah, for all the time you've put into it. I know it's been a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sarah.
Great job.
Okay, we're going to do reception.
Yes, I almost forgot about that. There's some cookies and water up here just for what, about 10 minutes, you think? 10-minute reception.
Oh, no, you can leave it here. That's fine. Thank you. Oh.
I need to get up, move around.
worry.
No. I'm not sure. We had a golf outing. Oh, yeah. So she knew we were winning. He's really good. Yes. I helped her. I helped him.
How are you feeling?
That's it. So they had that whole. That I don't know. Yeah, they get out pretty good considering the age. And then have currently. Yeah, so you do 6 by 210. Right now it's 2. There's too much time. They're the same age. I guess they call it. Right now we're in Boston. That's what I can tell. I guarantee, child, I will never have kids. Vaughn, I don't know. Great to know. Yeah. I see him in his trailer all the time. It's I'm sorry, your video was wonderful.
I hope I don't have to call you again.
Oh, hey, anytime you need to talk to me, you give me a call. I got it all done this morning. So now you'll probably get something for me to certify from STRS because you're retired from STRS, right?
Yeah.
This was just a transfer and.
Okay. Well, someone the other Friday night says, "You don't look so excited." I said, it's just a little scary.
It is scary.
Going into a whole new, healthcare system type thing and everything. I said, but so I'm okay.
I agree 100% with you. It's close for me too, and I'm just scared, this money, I'm gonna have to change some of my spending habits, not having something every day to do.
Yes.
I've done something since I was 12 years old, it seems like, and
You know, it's.
Besides here.
I know. It's
I
scary.
know, I just have to get a new one.
You will. You'll find something. That's what I figure I'll do is find something to do. Congratulations.
Lots of projects.
Of course.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's just it's a good team.
So you've got obviously the law office, and it's got office space, it's got I don't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. I went over to some of their parties. I didn't get to go to Chair Conference, but I went to some of the other events. They did, which was kind of nice. They had like Tammy Lisa they were in one place, and that was easy to go. It's paperwork and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, every Monday night.
Well, let me find it first. Sorry, I didn't know the rest of the Well, it's just like it's actual. I just surely has been good to me. And exceptional. I'd say it's about 10 minutes. So, I'd say this one's probably
That's one of my more.
Hey, Matt, I seen you at the leader graduation. You look so happy.
Oh, thanks.
And you just was so proud.
The Secret Service.
You did.
Yeah.
It was good though. I loved it. You did. You did a good job.
Get a chance to speak.
I'm going to. Yeah. Nobody really never come to me, so I thought I'm not going to say anything.
She just does numbers.
Yeah.
Things that. That's the right question. Anything you ever So, yeah, if you see like I'm on the Oh, yes. Yes.
He stayed. He was in there. I couldn't believe it. I think ours like almost 90 right now. Yeah. Was it? Tomorrow's gonna be 90 again, so.
Okay, I will.
It was hot yesterday, I thought. Do you don't have a heater? And it's 80 degrees already?
That once there's 7 in the sink.
Yeah.
I don't think the permanent sub is going to be everywhere.
Really?
They'll be in that one building. They'll be assigned to that
But
building.
it won't be just one.
And the nights are cold. Nights are warming up too, which helps. Yeah. Because it was like 80 and then it dropped down to 50. And that's what.
Yeah. I think we had to start them at the lowest step.
Yeah.
It's part of the contract language.
Yeah, I
If you want to be on negotiations
Turns off like at 10
next
o'clock
year,
at night.
if you want to be on negotiations next year, get that out of there.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Okay, we ready to get back? Ready to start? Okay. Before we get back to the agenda, I believe that Deb Lowell had something she wanted to say to
I
Steve.
did to Steve. I'm going to read it, though. It's easier for me to read it. I just do want to thank you for your support that you've given me for the finances. Most board members are really not interested in the finances, but you were the exception. You were my sounding board, honestly, for some of the probably really harebrained ideas that I come up with, but you listened, you responded. You have a gift with people, Steve, and you welcomed me right from the very beginning, made me feel comfortable. You played a large part, I know I've heard this from some of the others, with helping the district build the 2 elementaries, and you was there every step of the way. You didn't miss a meeting, you didn't miss a step. And we've been through some good times here with the board and some bad times. You always remain positive. I love that. I appreciate that. And one thing I love too is that you always tell me, Deb, great job. And believe it or not, that really meant a lot to me. And I hope you always would be part of the district. And we couldn't have anybody any better. And I thank you.
You're welcome. All right, next is legislative update. I do not have anything, so we'll move on to treasurer reports and recommendations.
I'm going to start out with a 5-year forecast presentation, and that's this blue handout. I'll put it up on the screen also. I have to submit the forecast 2 times a year, May and November. November is usually my first run at it, and May is just to finalize it and hope that it hadn't changed too much.
The second page here, I hope I do this right, is the purpose of a forecast is to engage the local Board of Education and the community in the long-run planning and discussions of financial issues facing the school district, to serve as a basis for determining the school district's ability to sign the certificated 412 certificate, to provide a method for the Department of Education and Auditor of State to identify school districts with potential financial problems. And this forecast is prepared based upon historical trends and current factors. The forecast variable can change multiple times throughout the fiscal year. And while cash flow monitoring helps to identify unexpected variances, no process is guaranteed. The intent is to provide the district's financial trend over time and a roadmap for decisions aimed at encouraging financial sustainability and stability. This next slide here, I really like this slide. It's kind of really, this is what happened this year. The first amount is, and this is all just general fund, is cash balance as of the start of the year. So 8,765,360. It shows the revenue, shows the expenses for the year, and what I'm going to end up with the cash balance. So that's a good picture of what happened the whole entire year. One good thing that happened for us was State Foundation. You know how they cut us last year? Well, they gave us some back, not all, but there's some back. So instead of overspending $444,000, I went down to overspending 101. So that was, I mean, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but I don't really like to overspend. So it's a lot to me. You know, it takes really everybody's effort to help me with the budget, not just me. We all have to work together. This next, I know you can't see it very well, but what this is what happened from November to May. And the couple of spots here is the income went up for state funding by $505,000 of what I projected, but it also went down in other revenue, which was interest income. I lost a tremendous amount of money on interest income this year. It went from 2 down to 0.002, I think, or, you know, so I lost a lot there. But so in expenses, I'm down just a tiny bit in personnel, but then I'm up in purchase services. But overall, that little yellow down at the bottom, the forecast from November to May changed 1.1%, which I think is pretty good. And it was like $345,000 to the good. So that's what helped us go from 444 to 101. And this is actually the forecast itself. And if you look at the yellow line, I know it's kind of hard to see, but the yellow line is my overspend. It's like over under. It's like, what have I spent over my deficit spending? So this first year I'm projecting, like I said, 101, and then it goes on out further. Then the green line is what the cash balance is. And right now, you know, at the end of this year, it hasn't changed much, but it goes down, down, down just because of the overspending. But I don't want you to get stressed about that, because I'm not yet, because one of the things that I don't know of is the biennial budget is not out there yet. I look for it to be more towards like July, but this will be for the next 2 years. What will we receive in state funding? And it's about the state funding. I pretty much have the other numbers concrete on them, but the state funding is way out there. And there's two things it could be. It could be Cup-Patterson, which is this new funding formula, or it could be this formula also that the state's kind of come up with. I've seen both scenarios, and both of them are very positive for us. But I just didn't feel like I just didn't feel comfortable putting it in because I don't know, you know. So I feel like when those numbers come out, which hopefully I'll know by the end of June is what it's supposed to be, but it usually goes into July, then it's going to change this forecast. It's going to slow that deficit spending down and hopefully go out for the whole 5 years before we're negative at all, or even if we are negative. So I thought maybe I would just kind of keep you informed when that comes in. What I'll do is probably just
go out and just mimic a forecast and say, here, I plugged in the new revenue, here's what it looks like. And that'll help you guys with, it'll help us all see where we land and everything. I did want to talk a little bit about ESSER money, CARES money. We have a lot coming in, and this the first set of money was pretty much about cleaning, safety, all that piece, because we used it more like purchase services, supplies, and some capital. But this second set of money is all about learning loss. Not all of it, but pretty close to all of it. And Deb and her team kind of worked together to come up with a good plan to help our kids get back on track. That's going to be the majority of this part 2. And I'm hoping to spread it. It's going to be for 2 years for sure, all those salary and benefits. But then the third set of money that we're going to get, which some of it has already popped in out at ODE, Department of Education, 6.7 million so far, and I believe we're going to get close to 10. We also have met a little bit on that money and what our plans are for that, and hope that what we want to do with it, we can do with it. I just don't know until it's approved. You have to go out, you have to submit a budget, you have to have, I feel like we've done a lot of pre-work to be ready for it. And one of the things is we're hoping we can build this preschool digital academy and at least put $5 million towards it, which would produce a great building. And then we still would have additional money. And the plan and hope is to continue those positions for 2 additional years. So we will have these new positions for 4 years, hopefully. Buses are in the mix, chillers, anything that would prepare, prevent, and us from COVID is what I could use this money on. I am helping the general fund just a little bit with maintenance. I took a little bit out of the general fund and put it in the CARES. I just felt like if it could help our budget bottom line, I'm going to do it. And other than that, is there any questions?
I don't have anything. Do you guys? Anybody else?
My only question, just with the 5-year forecast,
Yeah.
You're showing about 5 million in deficit over the next 5 years, but how's that fluctuate from year to year when you run the numbers through that tool?
It could change just like last year. My forecast from November to when I submitted in May, we had a cut from the state in May, and it changed 500,000. So that made us look a lot worse than but I didn't know it was coming. So what I'm presenting to you now from November to May, it changed 1.1%. That's what you hope. Now that doesn't always happen. Thank goodness we got additional money for the state, because we didn't make as much as what I projected for the interest. So, kind of offset. So things like that do happen. Maybe there's a year that salaries and benefits could change. This year it's down a little bit with the year we've had. So there hasn't been as many like professional development, things like that, where the staff's out of the office. So that helped with the salaries. My big thing is looking at history. I try real hard to know, be pretty accurate on salary and benefits, because that's about 80% of everything. The rest of it I can monitor. And, just like last year, March, April, I cut everything off. And some things you can't cut off, but some some you can control. So I was able to cut some things down. So it's just a year-round struggle. I mean, it truly is to stay on budget, and a lot of no. And people, they do help though. People will help and say, okay, we'll wait till July 1 for the next year or something. But it's every day.
Thank you.
Deb, how much do we have for learning loss?
For the second set, we have 4.5 million.
Wow.
Now that's not all for the learning loss. There is some air things that we did. We're going to get a couple chillers, but the learning loss itself, what I'm projecting is like 2.2 each year. So
2 years worth of two.
it's 1 point something and 1 point something. So
Oh, okay, 1.1.
yeah. So it's 2.2 or 2.4 is what I'm projecting we're going to spend for all the new salaries.
That's awesome. Taking a lot of reading instruction
You got it.
for that.
That's what it is.
Reading
That's,
specialists, literacy coaches,
That
lots of tutoring this summer and reading. A lot of kids have signed up for summer services, so that's good. We
Yeah,
wanted
it's-
that.
And I think if we can keep that, I know for sure we got 2 years, but if we can also budget in that third set for 2 additional years, that's 4 good years that we're going to get these kids back on track, and that's what it's about.
Well, I'd love to see that, and just anything we can think outside the box to get more reading instruction for these kids and more reading teachers it'd be outstanding.
Well, and I will say, I put this in my email that the 3 literacy coaches, Ina Ogle, Nancy Thornsberry, and Jane Salyers, met with the administrators last week and did a presentation on, where are we today after, 2 years of implementing the literacy collaborative. And they, as part of their coaching jobs, have to have a little cohort of students that they work with from the beginning to the end. So they've got, data from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, and the progress that they're making is very significant. So I feel like we're on the right track using the literacy collaborative. It's a lot of hard work, but I think the good thing that's coming out of it is that the coaches are telling us that the teachers feel very good about making these changes, and they feel like it's working. It's forcing us to look at some different data than we have before. So I think we're on the right track. It's going to take a couple more years to get everybody trained and get everybody, where they need to be comfortable using it. But I don't know, Liz, if you want to weigh in on that at all.
Yeah, I agree. And thank you for always, mentioning the need for personnel to help with that literacy coaches and the reading teachers. We all agree, and we're excited moving forward for next year, just having some of those people on staff and putting a lot of those resources, particularly in K2, where we need to.
Right. Oh, definitely. I'm sure K2 is this, and to remind everyone that they don't already know, some of the people who will be starting second grade haven't been in school since March of their kindergarten year.
Yep.
And I just can't imagine how far behind they're going to be.
And the teachers have worked really hard this year to catch those kiddos up from last year. I know Josh has worked hard with his third grade teams, worked very hard. Maybe what we'll do in August is have the 3 literacy coaches or one of them come and do a presentation on what does year 3 look like for the literacy collaborative. And they could just kind of give you some update on the progress that they've seen with the small group of kids that they've worked with, so that you can see, it actually is effective and we're heading in the right direction, even though it's been time intensive and it's cost some money. We had to make a change to fix it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Anybody have anything else?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And then you've got your recommendations.
Yes. I need to ask the board to approve A through I. Most of them are just, the Mavecas are something we do every year. One of our new guys, I guess, is right over there, Mr. Kemper. Travis. And then bid request, I want to go out to bid for 2 chillers. And actually, we're going through PlugSmart, and PlugSmart's working up the specs, and then we'll have to go out to bid, but I wanted to ask the board to go out to bid. Both of those will be paid for by CARES money. Anything that helps the air or anything like that. So then also a South State appraisal firm. I want to hire this gentleman to try to do an appraisal at the 419 Stacy. And then we'll have to go through a process, and hopefully we can get that sold by fall. I think she has to be out, so hopefully we'll be able to do something. And then I've got 2 30 passenger buses, and then also 2 81 passenger buses. If there's any questions on them, Aaron and Melissa both are here, but that also, both of those are going to be, I earmarked $400,000 for buses. And this will be right around 300, so we'll still have 100 that
maybe with some of these grants, with these electric buses that we're thinking about doing, if we get the grants, we'll be able to use that towards that. So, and other than that, that's it. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's recommendations?
I'll move.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll.
Mrs. Corzine?
Yes.
Mr. Dennis?
Yes.
Mr. Hartness?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Bonner?
Yes.
Thank you. Superintendent recommendations, Debbie?
Okay, I'd like to recommend A through L, but I'd also like to point out that one of the resignations on here is for Joanna Strasser. She's the principal at Chillicothe Primary, and Joanna's been with us for 8 years, and I'm going to miss her. I know the administrators will miss her. She's taking a principal position closer to her home in Logan Elm School District, and she'll get to do in a couple years what she did here, move 4 buildings together into one new building because they're building new buildings. But, there's a lot of great things about Jo, but one of the things that stands out the most to me is that she knows every one of her kids' names, and she would do anything for her students. And I've seen her, work extensively to get supports and services to a kid that needs them. And I just appreciate how much she cares about our students, and she's just put a lot of love into both Allen and Chillicothe Primary. And I'm really appreciative of that. So thank you, Jo.
I don't know what we're gonna do without our candy. We just might have to drive to Circleville. Well, for me, it would be, but.
Somebody drives through that area every day, I think.
Actually, would drive by her building every day until she gets in her new one.
Okay, that was everything, Debbie?
Yeah.
Is there a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendations?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion?
The one thing, and I was talking to Deb about, it just seems excessive for pay a full-time sub $40,000. If you would sub every day, you'd make $17,000. So we're paying someone more than twice that just to have them on call. That seems excessive to me.
The law, like I was telling Bill, the law says, and I know.
And I understand that
30 days, 60 days, and 90. By the time if they've worked in one position for 90 days,
yes,
it's not like that anymore. It's anywhere. Doesn't matter where you work. Used to be you work in one position, but now it's anywhere. So no matter what, I think we're going to end up paying close to 40 anyway.
Well, she said if you work consecutive days, after a while, you start getting pay raises. That, back in my day, that didn't happen. I don't know, maybe it does happen. Kathy's laughing at me, yes.
I hate
Yes.
to tell you this, Bill, but I think the world has changed.
And I know.
We do. We've had a very difficult time, and there's contract language that if we can't find a sub
I
and the
understand.
teacher's got to pick them up, they get, it's a tough one.
It's a vicious circle.
Yeah.
I'm not
And it's
denying
something
that.
that the teachers have really said would be helpful if they just had somebody in the building, even if, for a day, there's nobody that they have to sub for. It's just more hands on deck. And I think it's a way to use the CARES money, that may be helpful. We're going to try it for a couple of years and see if it makes a difference. But I understand your concerns.
Yes, thank you.
I didn't hear.
Who was the first on this? I heard.
Mr. Hartness.
That's right.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Okay, roll.
Mr. Bonner?
Yes.
Mrs. Corzine?
Yes.
Mr. Dennis?
Yes.
Mr. Hartness?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Ms. Corzine, if you don't mind, I'd like to introduce some new
please.
hires that you just approved.
Please do.
So Chloe back here is going to be a teacher at Chillicothe Intermediate School. And she has student taught up at the middle school all year and has just done an excellent job. So we're happy to have her there at Chillicothe Primary, Chloe Cooper. And then Kim Hurst back here will be the new Chillicothe Primary principal. And she's got some big shoes to fill, but I think she's up for the task. Did I get everybody? And Melissa Gallagher, obviously, you know Melissa, she's going to take over as the transportation director full-time. She was an interim. She has done a fantastic job. Her bus drivers sing her praises all the time. Parent complaints are down. She works great with everybody, so I'm very appreciative for that because I don't think anybody wants your job. So,
well, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any discussion or informational items? I think, I guess mine could go here. I wanted to ask if, in regards to the CARES money, Deb,
Yeah.
do you think it'd be helpful to have a special meeting in the next couple of weeks that we could get more immersed in that and understand it better?
Yep. We, on the second part, we've met with the administrators and here's what they're thinking they need. The third part, we really haven't met yet to discuss, but we have some things earmarked.
Okay.
And we have a meeting.
I'm looking for that.
June 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, June
with all
2nd.
the administration to discuss that piece of it. 'Cause,
Okay.
You know, we just have to follow certain guidelines. And I'm not sure that, you know, the preschool is going to work out. I don't know that. I feel like it is. I've got some positive feedback for it. But it's a lot of money to, you know, to have to spend, and you don't want to spend it foolishly. You want to make sure that we're buying some things that we won't have to do for 10 years, just like the chillers, you know, all the air that we've done with different things we've done with Plug Smart, you know, computers, you know, they at least last 5 years, you know, we're just,
If
So
we,
you're
after the
welcome.
second, when we
Yeah.
meet, like, we'll be able to kind of go over, do we have everything we need? So I don't know, maybe after that meeting.
That sounds good to me. I mean, do you
That'd be
guys
fine.
agree that
You guys
that
all
would,
right with
yeah, and you know what, we may need a,
Before it gets set into stone.
yeah.
Mhm.
with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we could set up a special board meeting.
Okay.
If you'd
Yeah,
like.
please.
Yeah.
It'd be nice, I guess, to hear, you know, kind of where everybody's thinking and before it quite gets put into stone.
Yeah.
That we could talk about it, because it is a lot of money that the district's getting ready
Yeah,
to
the
spend.
second piece of it is, a lot of that is salaries, which we'll go over the positions and things. And then it's also like the chillers, the buses, athletics, you know, I have to follow the guidelines.
Oh,
pretty
absolutely.
close. And one of the things that they allowed us was, for athletics, you know, they lost so much revenue last year. They actually are letting us do food service too. So, you know, I want to keep those things in my mind because I helped out athletics this year. They just, you know, when you still have to pay your coaches or whatever it may be, and then, but yet you don't have the revenue coming in, or you pay your officials or just new uniforms, whatever it may be. So there's lots of things.
Yeah. I think if we,
Absolutely.
yeah, if we better understand the parameters and
Well, why don't,
needs and,
go ahead and set one up now, a special, and
yeah,
would that work with everybody?
yeah, as long as it's after that date of your meeting.
Yeah, we have
The second.
June 2nd. Let me tell you though, everybody keeps saying, everybody's asking me, can't we use CARES? So that's a real hard thing for me also saying no.
Right.
It doesn't fall within the category, or,
Yeah, it's good.
no, we've got it earmarked for whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So it'd be good for us to understand all that too. Okay. Whatever you guys start with, what's good for you, and
The 7th and the 9th are open, 7th, 9th, and 11th. That's a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday.
7th,
I don't want to do Friday.
7th, Monday?
Monday's good for
Would
me.
Monday be good?
Monday.
7th is better
Good.
for myself, yeah.
Good for you, Bill?
yeah, the 7th.
Yep.
7's fine.
Okay.
What time? What time can you guys be there? You'll work, well, one of you.
I'm on vacation those days.
Oh,
But no, I'm gonna be back in town. I'll be back. So I'm available anytime on the 7th.
Bill?
what would be the earliest you would be available?
4.
First 4?
Want to shoot for 4?
7th and 4th?
Yep.
Is it easier to see things up on the big screen in the Atwood room?
Versus,
These?
oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
You want to try that instead?
Yes,
So we'll do it in the Atwood room. Okay.
Well, just be. Yeah, we probably won't have many in attendance. Okay.
I've been experiencing the nightmare of CARES funding with the health department for the last, 14 months. So it is a challenge, and it is nice having a set plan, because when someone does come to you with an expenditure, you'd be like, well, it's not in our plan, so let's reevaluate.
I agree, it definitely is. The first set really just kind of got us through just the cleaning, the stickers, the masks, so that kind of went quick, I feel like. But the second, we had to have a plan in place, and the third two, we're going to have a great plan and just stick to it.
Okay. Okay, board member comments? Does anybody have anything? I have a few things, I guess.
Ladies first.
I just want to say, Jeff, we're very glad that you're here. You gave us a big scare a couple weeks ago, and you've done amazing to not miss a meeting and be at graduation and 2 graduations.
Congratulations.
You've just been amazing, and I'm glad to see you're making good progress.
Thank you.
I also wanted to thank our teachers, tutors, aides, and substitutes who are going to be working this summer to get our kids up to speed after the pandemic. There were a lot of names on there and a lot of people helping, so appreciate that. And then I have a request. Would like your input. July meeting. I know 2 of us are going to be on vacation on the date of the July meeting. And what I was wondering is if we could not have the July meeting at all and meet in August, either at the regular scheduled date or move it up a week, whatever. But if this is going to cause you guys problems, we will
No, it's
work
fine.
with it.
Yeah, no problems. We start back.
Skipped a meeting.
Huh?
I mean, I don't know if we've ever skipped a meeting. Have we? Did 2 and
We do that at the very important Parks and Recreation Department. We, during our downtime, during December, we do skip a meeting. Jeff can attest to that. And this, July is kind of our downtime. I see no problem skipping a meeting. And as Liz said, maybe move the August one up a week so we're get a little chance to get back quicker.
I would say with your having the 2 in June, if there's any resignations, we can get those on the June 7th, or any hires, we can just keep putting those in there. I don't see a problem with it. There's nothing.
Okay.
Usually
Well,
it's just personnel stuff. I
if
don't know if you've
something
got
comes
anything
up and
significant, Deb.
we
No,
figure out we
June
don't
is
like
my-
that.
June's my big month, and honestly, whatever that Monday is, I may change that anyway, that Monday to towards the end of the month, because that's my fiscal close.
That's your fiscal close.
And I know it seems like, what is that June?
It's the last month. It's the last Monday of the month. I
June
think.
26th.
26th? So I'll probably ask you guys to do something different anyway in June.
28th, I'm sorry,
28th.
28th.
So we're
That's the
kind of-
last week.
28th.
Yeah, it's the last week of June.
So I probably would ask for June 30th. So then that's really kind of would be close to your July meeting. So, yeah, I think that's fine with August. I just do it at the regular time unless we needed it earlier.
I appreciate it, but if we decide we need to do it differently, that's fine too. Anybody else have comments?
I would, please. First, I'd just like to thank all the staff. I don't even want to try to get into naming positions or people for the last year, all the efforts that everybody put in to everything, because I know last year was not normal. So, and when I notify, or when I can recognize something's not normal, trust me, it's not normal. So, just everyone and everything they've done to make a successful school year for Chillicothe City Schools last year. I just want you to know how much it's appreciated. Also, I'd like to thank everybody for the assistance Friday night at the graduation. Some folks went out of their way to help me out. I'm not 100%, obviously, And I just wanted to let everybody know how much I appreciated that. And then finally, just let everybody know how much I appreciate their thoughts and prayers right now with things going on. So thank you.
Any other comments?
I just would like to thank the high school. The graduation was beautiful.
It was.
And just such a nice change from being inside. And you guys just did a great job. Everybody worked hard and just made it a super nice night for our kids. And I think our parents loved it and the kids were happy. And it was just really, really nice. So thank you, everybody. I know they're not all here, but it was a huge team effort up there.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. It was, weather was perfect. It was a nice reward to a different year.
Yeah.
But yeah, and thanks to all the kids. I mean, they went through a strange time this year. So they're very resilient though. Like our kids, asking questions. Do we have to wear a mask next year? I'm like, I don't know yet, but hopefully not. And one of them was like, well, I don't mind wearing one. Well, they were used to it. So they were just happy to get back into school. And that was a big thing back in August to see those kids get off the school bus the first couple weeks of school and how happy they were to be back at school. That was pretty impressive that Chillicothe was the leader getting back to school.
Thank you. I think everybody did a great job. It really was everybody. So.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll go into executive session to discuss the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of public employees or regulated individuals, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee or regulated individual unless such person requests a public hearing, and consider the purchase or sale of property. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Bill, you want a second?
Yeah, I'll second that. Yes, second.
Roll.
Mr. Dennis?
Yes.
Mr. Hartness?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Bonner?
Yes.
Mrs. Corzine?
Yes. So time into executive session is 6:19.
Dan, can you get them in a room somewhere close by? Okay, that'll work. So he doesn't have to work too far.
And there'll be no action taken afterwards.
Okay.